Okay, now let's look at problem number 31. 31 asks us to find the equation of the tangent line to the function f of x is equal to tan inverse of 2x at the point 1/2 pi over 4. All right, so anytime that we're trying to find the equation of a tangent line, we really need two things, two pieces of information. The first piece of information is a point that's going to be on the line. Well, we have a point that's on the line. So we've got half of it done already. The other thing we need is the slope of that line. So slope, you should think derivative. So what we want to do here is we want to take the derivative of this function, plug in the x value of this point to that derivative, find our slope, and once we know our slope, we'll have a slope, we'll have a point, and we're able to use the point-slope equation of a line to find our line. Okay, so let's do it. First step that we've got to do here is we've got to find the derivative so that we can find slope. So let's go ahead and find the derivative of this function. This is very much like something that we've done in a previous problem. Let's look at it here. If I take the derivative f prime of x here, then I get 1 over 1 plus whatever's in here, 2x squared, times the derivative of what's inside. But what's inside is a 2. Okay, so here is the derivative of this function. It's 1 over 1 plus what's inside squared times the derivative of what's inside. Okay, so I've got my derivative. I'm interested in what is that derivative's value when x is equal to a half. So in other words, what is f prime of 1/2? So I plug in a half here and I'd get 1 over 1 plus, if I plug in a half times 2 is 1. I get 1 squared times 2. In other words, on top I would have 2. On bottom I'd have 1 plus 1, which is 2. And so it's just 1. So the slope of this line is 1. Okay, now that I know here's my slope, 1, here's my point, 1/2 pi over 4. Now I can use the point-slope equation of a line to find my tangent line. So I'm going to use the equation y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So I get y minus y1, which is pi over 4, is equal to m, which we know now is 1, times x minus x1, which is a half. All right, let's solve this thing for y. So I get y minus 1 pi over 4 is equal to x minus 1/2. And now let's add pi over 4 to both sides. And I get that y is equal to x minus 1/2 plus pi over 4. So here is the equation of the tangent line to this curve at this point.